All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 5 p.m. West Coast time. I'm thinking it's going to be about 2 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Mad Statter, and this is Chatter with Statter. We have got ourselves some raiders coming in. Terry and Scotland hosting that raid. Looks like we've got, excuse me, about 4 people coming in there. Oh my goodness. I don't know how to breathe or talk today, apparently. But Terry, thank you so much for coming in with your raid. But it looks like before this raid, we even had the YouTube side here first. That's right. We had Mr. and Mrs. Aloha saying aloha to everybody. And then Mama Sean came in with some happy Easter to everybody who might celebrate. I do believe today is a celebration of multiple faiths, as it were. I do believe this is the Passover season. We've also got our Easter, of course, and then 420 for those of you who celebrate. It is that 20th day of April. If you know, you know. All right, now we know. Hey, it looks like we've got Darlene coming in saying aloha to everybody. Thomas and Turtle is here as well. I'm going to guess that Thomas might have come in with the raid, but you know what? Thomas comes in on his own too, so hard for say. All right, you guys. As you might have guessed, and as you might have noticed, we have got ourselves a sponsorship today. A sponsorship that I don't know. First off, I don't really know what I'm doing, and I think I'm completely not doing it right. I'm supposed to have some sort of banner. I don't really know. But what I do know is Felicia Nichols is in the house saying happy holiday for all those who celebrate. And we've got a couple different holidays to choose from. So pick your celebration, my friend. Pick your celebration. As Easter says, as Rick says, happy 420 day. I hope you left the Easter grass alone. There you go. Shock just got home. Aloha, y'all. Unpacking. Not sure where you were on this fine weekend there, Shock, but glad to know that you're back home. Hopefully you're cozy. Sounds like you didn't get to watch our movie last night on Map Statter's Secret Squirrel Cinema. That would be Rise of the Guardians, our annual Easter movie where all of the guardians of the children, that is the Santa Clauses, the Easter Bunnies, the Sandman, Sleepy Guy, the Tooth Fairy, and Jack Frost, not to mention the Man in the Moon had something to do with it, all got together to defeat the Boogeyman. One of my favorite little movies. And I'm so happy to share it with you guys every year around this time. And speaking of every year around this time, hold on. There we go. Speaking of every year around this time, next Saturday and Sunday, we will be live streaming, if we can, the Merry Monarch Festival. And so there will be no Statterbox at the cinema. Instead, it will be nothing but hula hula. And there you go. I believe on Saturday, the hula is most likely going to be the kahiko. I don't remember how to pronounce it exactly. And then Sunday will be Awana. We'll pronounce those words better later on once I have the spellings in front of me. Now that we've got a bunch of people in here and Terry throwing down some serious monies, let's get the party started, shall we? Exactly. Ivana Tinkle. That is a beautiful fake name that I believe Bart Simpson has used back in the day on The Simpsons when he used to do prank phone calls. He might still do prank phone calls to Moe's Tavern. Ivana Tinkle, Amanda Lovenkiss. These are people that Bart pretended to be. All right, so looks like Katie's Aura came in with that there Terry raid, which does not surprise me at all. All right, you guys, so I guess the number one question on the docket for today is, so what'd y'all do? I did not do any kind of Easter situation. However, I am wondering this year, for those of you who did have Easter celebrations with the children's, were you, so I know we talk about it a lot. And people in the UK are tired of hearing about it. But, y'all, the price of eggs. Like, how'd you deal with the egg situation this year on your Easter situations? Did you, I guess actually, we've got two kinds of Easter families, right? We've got the Easter families that use real eggs. They dye the real eggs. And then eventually they're obliged to eat for the next 87 days in a row all sorts of hard-boiled egg recipes. There's those families. And then there's other families who are just like, yeah, no. And they use the plastic eggs. And then I guess in the plastic eggs, they fill them with candy, they fill them with money. I don't really know. We were a real egg family, so I don't really know what the plastic egg families do with the plastic eggs. They are openable and fillable, so I'm hoping and assuming there was some filling in there. And why I feel like a real egg versus a filled with candy egg is better than the... I'm starting to question my childhood priorities, because I always thought that the dyed eggs were superior, but then you were obligated to eat the hard-boiled egg in it, whereas the plastic egg had the candy. So why did I like the real egg better? Alright, hold up. Mr. and Mrs. Aloha Friday. Plastic. Okay. Oh, whoa. We've got a whole new... See, now this is why I brought the topic to hand. This is a whole new world of things to me. Plastic dyeable eggs? What are you even? And then wooden eggs to paint. What are you even talking about? Oh my goodness. Okay. That is awesome. Wooden eggs to paint. I would be all over that as a kid. Oh my god. because really, I think the reason why I thought that the regular eggs were superior is because I really love dyeing Christmas eggs. Actually, Easter eggs is where I like to dye them. And so, okay. But these are plastic dyeable eggs, and then you've also got the wooden eggs. I don't even know. I don't even know. So, let's see here. We used to give the dogs hard-boiled eggs in the yard to find, peeled, but we didn't do it this year. Oh, well, that is super cute. And did you not do it because it's so flippin' expensive? Because that's basically the point of this question was, did hard-boiled egg families switch over to an alternative egg this year? That's really my question here. Because I have a feeling a lot of formerly hard-boiled egg families probably did an alternative this year. And Kenny from the Cove just got back from Easter with your family in Temple, Texas. I'm feeling the 3 F's, fat, full, and fabulous. Anytime I get to spend with my family in Temple is awesome time. That is fantastic, Kenny. But did you guys dye any eggs? And if you did, were they plastic dyeable eggs? Mr. and Mrs. Aloha Friday, I understand a wooden egg to paint, but help me understand plastic dyeable eggs. Like, help me understand. Are they like the plastic ones that you can like break in half and put stuff in? Or are they just plastic eggs you can dye just to dye them? I have never even heard of such shenanigans, so I am at a loss. Darlene, we didn't dye any of our eggs this year. We did an earlier visit to Madison on Friday with some of the grandkids who were off for the break. We hid their baskets from us that they got this morning, and then did a video call with them this morning. Got it. Hey, Michi Mama, good to see you. And let's see here. Walmart is your friend, said Mr. and Mrs. Aloha Friday. Yeah, I'm sure that's where you got the... I can only assume that's where you got at least the ideas, and probably the eggs themselves. And let's see here. Darlene, your daughter did the plastic eggs filled with candles, and little goodies. I'm assuming you meant candies, because I'm guessing she wasn't giving the kids candles. And little goodies hid them outdoors. The grandkids then went and did search for them. It's my favorite part of Easter. I love the whole egg hunt. In fact, if I wish that I had grandkids, nieces and nephews, whatever. That's really the only time in the year that I'm like, oh, I kind of wish that I had little kids to deal with. because I really do enjoy hiding Easter eggs and then watching them find it. So, okay, all right. It's a whole egg that doesn't come apart. They even come in a carton. I had it, for some reason, Mr. and Mrs. Aloha Friday, when you said plastic dyeable eggs, that was exactly what I envisioned. So now my question for you is, what did you dye them with? Did they come with a special kind of dye, or do you use the, oh, here we go. They come with a special dye. It's not the vinegar kind. Okay, but like, do you have to paint the dye on? Do you dip them? I am very curious how this works. I kind of want to almost go buy some just for myself. And Terry in Scotland says, I missed the question about Cadbury's cream eggs. How do they put the yolk in the middle? Oh, well, that's simple, silly. You know how they do that, don't you? It's, they have two halves that they just put together. So, you know, you've got the chocolate shell of each side, and it's a shell, you know. And then they put the white cream and a dollop of orange cream, and a white cream and a dollop of orange cream, and then they put them together, and they run a little seam of hot chocolate to keep them together, and then they wrap them up, right? I mean, I've never been to the factory, so I don't really know, but that's how I would do it. And I know that they do come apart because I have like broken that seam before. It's hard to break perfectly, and it is a mess, but you can do it. And okay, the dye goes into a bag and you roll the egg around in it. The dye goes into a bag. I feel like there was an oil-based egg dye back in the 70s that they used on eggs, that was a similar method. You put the dye in the bag and you rolled the eggs around in it. Okay, cool. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Aloha Friday, I know you've been on the spot this pretty much entire stream right now. Apologies. But, what colors did they come in? Are they bright colors? Are they pastel colors? Are they the same? Like, was there only one or two colors? Could you mix the colors? Tell me about the colors. And Terry, how did I figure that out? I'm a genius. No, I'm not a genius, Terry. It's just that I'm a fat girl who has spent a lot of time working with chocolate. And I happen to know how to do some of these chocolate things. But I will tell you this, Terry. It took me years. And I finally figured out how they did this. But all y'all, you know the Christmas chocolates? The Christmas oranges? They're chocolate. They're chocolate. And they're orange flavored chocolate. But they're round. They're shaped like an orange. They're usually wrapped in an orange wrapper. And then you bump them. You bash them, and then the circle falls apart, and it's nothing but orange slices. Like individual orange slices. Do you guys know the candy that I'm talking about? That candy drove me nuts. I spent so much time trying to figure out how that candy was put together. And I finally figured out how it was put together, and I'll tell you if you guys want. But if you guys don't even know what I'm talking about, then there's going to be no point. And let's see here. Darlene, actually, I used to really like the Cadbury cream eggs, but now as a grown-up, they are way too sweet for sure. And it is kryptonite too. I hate that I'm so weak. My Cadbury weakness is the mini eggs. They're just the solid chocolate with the sugar shell. Oh god, I could just And okay, just standard regular colors, not pastels. Okay, that sounds kind of cool. And Mrs. A loves the chocolate oranges. Okay, cool. So, the chocolate oranges, they're a perfectly round sphere. And when you unwrap that wrapper, the orange wrapper, it looks like an orange. Like it's got the bumpy bumps of the orange skin, but it's chocolate, right? And you have to like, boom, bang them, and then they come apart and they're individually sliced. And each individual slice has the little bubbles of orange litness. Wow. Do you know what I'm talking about? You know how oranges, real oranges at this point, are filled with tiny bubbles of orange juice? Fiber is... I don't really know what those are called, but I'm going to call them bubbles of orange juice. You know what I'm talking about, right? Does someone have words? Because I do not have the words. Either way, when you break open those slices, they even have the right texture that orange slices have with the bubbles. Now, my question always was, though, how on earth do they make those? How on earth do they make it so the inside pieces... Cells works. You guys know, yeah, cells, I guess. They're cells full of orange juice. They're the orange cells full of orange juice. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, so, anyway, I could never figure out how they made that until one day in a dream, I think, really, it came to me. And so I'm putting out to the chatterboxers, has anybody else figured out how they make those flippin' oranges? Because I finally did figure it out, and it makes total sense. But has anybody else figured it out? And Kenny from the Cove, ooh, the world desperately needs a Cadbury cream egg filled with peanut butter cream. Kenny, I don't know why Cadbury hasn't done that yet. Like, that's the most obvious. I mean, that is so obvious that it's almost a stupid suggestion, except for it's not a stupid suggestion because Cadbury hasn't done it yet. So, and I like where you're going with that. You don't necessarily want to have regular peanut butter because that competes with the Reese's. You want the peanut butter cream. That is brilliant. That is brilliant. And, Terry in Scotland, I think, can get Jaffa cakes here, but only through special order. I love Jaffa cakes. They're so delicious. For those of you who don't know what Jaffa cakes are, they're little, they look like they're cookies, but they're actually tiny little cakes, and that actually does matter. With a little bit of orange jam. I think it might be blood orange, but it doesn't really matter. And then covered in chocolate. Super delicious. Jaffa, by the way, in England than the UK is considered a slur. Not really a slur, but definitely an insult. Do not be calling a man a Jaffa. That be fighting words, as it were. But let's see here. But Darlene, okay, in a mold, sure, you're there, but how is it the mold of an orange? Or how is the mold? Because, like, okay, so you've got an orange mold, right? And then you squirt all the chocolate in it and you fill it. But that orange mold isn't going to be able to create the slices with the cell texture, right? So it's not a mold that's round. Nor is it a mold like we were just talking about with the cream-filled Easter eggs. 2 half molds no, it's not. That's exactly it, Terry. They make each slice separately. Each slice is in its own mold. Because if you notice, one of the sides of the slices is smooth. So that's the top side. The other side of the slice is the one with the cells. So that's the one that's on the bottom in the mold. And so they take the individual slices and put them together into the 3-dimensional sphere. and then they squirt hot molten chocolate in the middle to hold it all together. It took me years of pondering this before I finally comprehended what was going on. And yes, Mariana, good. It is a sponsorship stream. As you can see, it's HelloFresh. And we're going to be talking about HelloFresh probably way longer than you want to hear about it after the Lono listening break. And I don't know if Bainy Bo is here or not. And next time I see him, I'm going to have to apologize to him, because yesterday when Bainy Bo was on the Mapstatter Secret Squirrel Cinema situation, he said that he got a 50% off box of HelloFresh. And I was like, oh no, you should have waited for my sponsorship. But it didn't occur to me that I had already talked about this sponsorship before on an earlier stream, and he might have actually gotten the coupon code and the link from there. And in which case, I owe him such an apology, because he was probably the very first person to hop on this this sponsorship, and it didn't even I didn't even thank him or anything. Instead, I was like, oh no. Instead, I should have been saying, oh thank you. So I hope that Bainy's here, and if Bainy's not here yet, if he pops in, then let me know so I can make sure to say it to his face, I guess, or however. And did HelloFresh hook me up with some Ono grinds? Yes, Kenny. Yes and no. We're gonna talk about that. And for sure, Terry and Scotland on HelloFresh okay, first off, HelloFresh, we're not supposed to be talking about this yet, but okay, since we are, here's the link if y'all are curious. I'm thinking about buying some stuff on HelloFresh. Now is a good time, because if you use the coupon code up there, F156218. Use that coupon code, you're gonna get 50% off. And there's a different coupon code later on that you can get in the UK, free desserts for life. In the United States, it's a pound of, it's a high protein, it's protein for life. And when they say for life, they just mean as long as your subscription as long as you're subscribed. This is where you want to, if you want to give credit to this sponsorship, then this is where you'd want to order. And yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Aloha, definitely do not bother to try to take advantage of this, because apparently these things only exist for the new customers. But I'm super stoked that you do it, because you already have it, because now you will also be able to chime in with your experience when I talk about my experience. And by the way, you guys, my experience so far has only been 1 week's worth of delivery, and I only got 2 meals in that delivery. Those meals are actually meant for 2, so 4 meals in total. I've only eaten and prepared one of them. But we will get into detail about that situation. However, looks like Stream Elements. I'm not sure where the thing is on your I'm not sure where the chat is on your screen, so I'm just gonna say Stream Elements. They apparently want to talk about this right now, and so the code actually is POGHF1 56218. Yes. And it's over my less tattooed shoulder. This one. That's not gonna work. Anyway, outside the US, or this promotion actually does cover countries other than the United States. Definitely the UK. I'm going to have to look up the full list, but for the most part, for the people that are regulars on the stream, Canada is included, the UK is included, the United States is included. I don't know if Finland is included, but I haven't seen our favorite Finn in a little while, so I'm not sure that detail matters at the moment. See, Honda, good to see you. And let's see, it's on the upper right of my screen opposite my active Italian handy things. I don't even know what that means, Shock. Oh, Italian handy things. Because, got it. Okay, wow. Gesturing with mostly what appears to be the right hand. That's my left hand, so this is my right hand. Alright, so you see, you guys, I don't know my right from my left. But I'm drinking my liquid death today. I don't know how to recover from this. Anyway. And, okay, I am not sure, let's see here. Oh, okay, so your friend gave me a small router table, the chewing up the wood kind, not the directing internet traffic kind. Oh! Shock! Oh, is that what you guys were talking about? Okay, so Shock got one of those, hold on, wait, and Mr. Steve, hold on, wait. Oh, okay, be careful with it, Dr. Steve managed to use it on his hand, not just the wood. Okay, you guys, I think what Shock is talking about, absolutely, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I have seen these things online, and I am not a woodworker, I am not a crafter, I am not a nobody, and I want one so bad. They're basically like a little table saw, only it's a table saw you can like put on your table, and I mean your kitchen table, like it's little, and so you do it for little stuff, you know, if you're building doll houses or doing finicky tile work or finicky like little edging or making a picture frame or something. I want one of those, and it sounds like Shock, who's a much better person to have that tool, has one, and so I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited. Let's see here. Mitchie Mama, what kind of protein is HelloFresh? Meats? Yes and no. Actually, HelloFresh has a bunch of different protein options. Well, some of their meals have a bunch of different protein options. Other meals just come with what they come with. But, and then there's some meals that are vegetarian. But basically, it's a meal prep situation. And we will totally be getting into everything. Oh, okay, no. Oh, you don't have the table saw. You have a router. It's an upside-down drill that puts gouges in things. Carefully calibrated gouges. Oh, to make your picture frame fancier and stuff like that. Got it. Okay, cool. And Terry in Scotland, meow, to Dusty, Ashes, and Leo. I think Ashes is the only one in the position to say meow back. And let's see here. Kenny from the Cove and Terry in Scotland are agreeing we all need to be able to identify Statter by my tats. Well, I cannot show you all my tattoos, not because of any kind of like, oh, but because they're on my feet, they're on the back of my leg, they're a lot of different places. But I can tell you right now, we've got this one, my little bee with plumerias. We've got my little tree. We've got a tree right there. We got a sunflower right there. Sunflower. We got ourselves the blackberry vine. We got ourselves a little buzzy bee right there. Yeah, another little bee. Oh yeah, we got another little set of hibiscuses. And by the way, did I say these were plumeria? I meant hibiscus. Nah. And then on my back, there's way more leaves. On my back, there's, well, here, maybe I can show this. I don't know. There's a yin and yang, sun, sort of a sunburst, a black star sunburst with, oh, the chair was in the way. Right, of course. See, yeah, that didn't work. See, I told you guys. Yeah, so the chair. You got to see the chair. That's not what my tattoo looks like. I don't have a tattoo of a chair, just so you know. But it's a little yin and yang coming out of a black sunburst. And then on the back of my leg, I've got, a sugar skull with a beehive and some daisies coming out of its mouth, and it's got green peridot eyeballs, peridot gemstone eyeballs. It's a symbol of my family. My mom's name was Bee, hence the bees and the beehive. Her birth flower was daisies. My dad's birthstone was peridot. So it's all sort of in honor of my family. And then on my other leg, I got a black work, a thistle that's done all in black work. And I have a memorial tattoo that's a pentagram that says DBFC, RIP Janine, and that's all I'm going to tell you about right now, mostly because that's all I can think of. And why would it be wrong to have a chair tattoo? You'll always bring a chair to the event, that's for sure. And let's see here, where's the best place for tattoos, Seattle or Portland? Oh, I couldn't even begin to tell you. There are some amazing tattoo artists in every city. It really depends on what type of tattoo you're looking for. And when I say what type, I mean that in many different ways. I not only mean what style. For instance, you know, if you really are into Japanese work, or if you're into bold cartoonish, or if you're into realism, these are all different artists that do, as you know, every artist has their own style, and that goes with tattoos as well. So, if you like big, bold, simple, colorful, heavy outlines, you know, more reminiscent of early sailor type tattoos, then there's certain artists that you go to for that. If you want a realistic portrait of, you know, your child or whatever, you definitely would go to somebody different than the big, bold lines with bright colors. And then, not only that, though, so you've got the style of the tattoo artist and their art style, but then you also have to take into consideration what type of ink you want to put into your body. Some tattoo artists are not very careful about the inks that they use. They use inks, traditional inks, and traditional inks are generally the most problematic. You don't necessarily know where those pigments are coming from. Oftentimes, you know, they're used, industrial dyes are used. It really wasn't until the last 20 or 30 years that tattooing ink has become its own industry. Other tattoo artists prefer to use more modern tattoo ink, soy-based inks that are vegetable-based, inks that are a little bit less potentially toxic than the traditional pigments and inks that most tattoo artists use. Some tattoo artists are very, very careful about the inks that they use. Other tattoo artists don't even give it a second thought. And when I mean careful about what the ink is made of. All tattoo artists are careful about how they handle the ink. All tattoo artists need to be careful about their hygiene. All tattoo artists that you are even going to be considering are going to be clean. It's not a case of whether or not the ink is contaminated as much as it is what is the ink is made from. And the last thing you really want to do is inject onto your skin a pigment that you're going to end up being allergic to. And I know people who've had that happen. And before, and even though I'm sounding a little bit judgmental about usage of ink and, whatever, the inks that are on my body are traditional tattoo inks. I lucked out. I never got allergic to any of them. The inks on my body are from questionable sources. I never, back in the day, chose my artists based on the type of inks they use. In this day and age, you can, and you probably should. If it's important to you, if you have sensitive skin. Another factor is how pale or dark your skin is. Some tattoo artists specialize in tattooing darker skin because you need to use special inks on skin with more melanin. I'm sure it shouldn't surprise you to know that black people have a hard time having some tattoos show up on their skin, especially if they are dark black people or dark Hispanic people, right? But there are inks that are developed to pop off of darker skin. They're more noticeable on darker skin. If you have darker skin, you definitely want to find a tattoo artist that has familiarity with working with darker skin. And so all these factors have to factor into your specific and personal tattoo experience and your specific tattoo needs. So to say like who or where is the best is a virtually impossible statement to make. What you can say though is absolutely where not to go. And that would be places that don't take cleanliness seriously. That would be places that, frankly, as far as I'm concerned, it would be places that if you're a first-time tattoo person, if you want a tattoo, if you don't have any visible tattoos or any tattoos at all, and you want your first tattoo to be on your hands or on your neck or God forbid on your face, and you find a tattoo artist willing to do that, that's not a good tattoo artist. That's an unethical tattoo artist. You absolutely should not be going to that artist. Your friend Belle has very subtle gray ink in her tattoos. Shock, I'm going to assume that Belle might be darker pigmented person. And yes, there are some inks that have a lot of white base in them that help to make those colors really pop on darker skin. And by the way, Trail Dust, I saw that you came in and I didn't talk to you because I was busy talking about tattoos. And there's a couple subjects that once I start talking about them, it's hard to stop. Tattoos, roller derby, food. And, but so good to see you. So good to see you today. Okay, Shock. Nope, Belle is pale and it makes it hard to decide. There's really ink there. Oh, interesting. And then actually, that kind of reminds me, there's another kind of ink that's invisible under regular light, but under ultraviolet light, it glows in the dark. Which I think is so flippin' weird. And I honestly have to say, I don't feel comfortable with... Okay, I don't know what makes that ink do that. So I don't know what I'm talking about. But I am uncomfortable with ink that glows in the dark under my skin, okay? I don't know what it is. I don't know. It could be the safest... Could be as safe as saline, right? I don't know. Trail Dust, you don't have any tattoos, but if you did, they would glow in the dark. And let's see here. Terry in Scotland, on the muscle of my arm, there's a red and blue tattoo, one that says Fort Worth, I love you. There you go. And all right, so Stream Elements is back with the shouting out of the HelloFresh sponsorship. So for those of you who are late to the stream, this is a sponsorship video, and after our Lono listening break, we're going to talk all about HelloFresh. We're going to, I'm going to show you what came in the box. I'm going to show you the whole thing, basically. And so Darlene, though, is just like, I don't know, that glow in the dark sounds kind of cool. I'd like to see that. Not that I'd ever get that. I don't have any tattoos. I don't have a tattoo. And let's see here. So yeah, to answer that question, Seattle and Portland both have amazing tattoo artists. And Terry in Scotland, do I have any jailhouse tats? That's funny you should say that, Terry. No. All of my tattoos are done by professionals. Unlike my sister, her first tattoo was the equivalent of a jailhouse tattoo, although she gave it to herself when she was 12, with India ink, a sewing needle, and a bunch of thread. You know, the typical way. It's really, actually, very well done tattoo. I'm not gonna lie, it's a really well done tattoo. But she's an artist, so you know. But Terry, before I got my blackberries, most of my tattoos were only black work, or black work with subtle gray or subtle purple. And so when I did work at the prison, because I did work at a prison for a while, all of the inmates would make fun of me because they're like, girl, you got yourself professional tattoos, but they're all done in black work. You look like you've just been chewed up in prison. Why don't you get some color on that so people know that you... so people know that that's not the jailhouse, that's not jailhouse art. And so, so no, I don't have any jailhouse tattoos. However, prisoners did accuse me of having jailhouse tattoos, even though that they knew that they were not. So, and what? You didn't know that I worked in a prison? I have many, many, many mysteries in my history, y'all. I did used to work at a prison. And, let's see here. Darlene bragging about her plumeria that she gets to grow. See, Honda, I finally killed that plumeria you sent me a long time ago. It took me a long time, but I finally did it. It wasn't on purpose, and I killed it with love. I did everything wrong that everything I tell people not to do. I did it, and and everything, if you do it, and I tell people, if you do this, you're gonna kill it. If I did it, I did kill it, and I did do it, I did kill it. Yep, I killed it. And, Kenny from the Cove, I have seriously considered for a while getting a tattoo of a slice of pie, because come on, who doesn't like some sort of pie, right? Kenny, I've heard of sillier tattoos for sillier reasons. One of my friends, actually, when he was in college, he was a dishwasher he was probably a dishwasher for about 15 years of his life. And he wanted to get a tattoo of a scrubbing bubble. You know, the scrubbing bubbles little logo guy? Because he was like, we work hard, so you don't have to. He never did end up getting that tattoo, but I really, really thought that he should have. And let's see here. All right, so it looks like we've got 1 minute until a Lono listening break. Yes, indeed, Terry, we're going to get that Lono listening break. Once the Lono listening break gets out of the way, though, we're going to talk a little bit about food. So, and C Honda is just like, yeah, even the best lose their plumeria plants. So, all right. And Darlene, though, she's, Darlene's plumeria is living. And it's got a bloom on it. Oh my god. I am like so flippin' jealous. I know this seems a little silly, but I'm actually like, oh my god, I'm getting a little bit misty-eyed. This is so flippin' awesome. I'm so excited for you, Darlene. Oh my god. I can't wait to see the bloom. Alright, we're gonna reel that in, but seriously, dude, I'm very excited about this. Alright, so, and I'm not even the one growing it. Alright, you guys, it is time for our Lono listening break. This Lono listening break happens to be the very first video that Lono posted back on his YouTube days when he was posting on YouTube. I wish he would continue to do that, but alas, he's busy doing other things. But this was the very first video that he posted. It's Kua Apaka. I'll tell you what it is later on, but I will tell you this. It is a song based on a story called The Wind Gourd of La Mau Mau, I think. La Mana Ma... I don't see. I need the words in front of me before I can say them. Excellent story. Beautiful story of revenge. Wonderful story of revenge. But this is a song that he wrote about it.
koi kamakani huli ia kala'au molokai luia hina Malua hale olono kia e au ho'ole hua ka hele o pala'au molokai luia hina Haina mai kapuana kua paka o molokai nui kamakani o la'a mau molokai nui ahina Haina mai ana kapuana kua paka o molokai nui kamakani o la'a mau molokai nui ahina Molokai nui ahina Molokai nui ahina
All right, there we go. So, Terry, you got to rinse your hair in salt water to make it fluffy like Lono's. That's how you heard you do it. Salt water on the hair definitely helps to increase the texture and the fluffiness, but it also is very drying to the hair. So you probably don't want to do that very often, but it is definitely a great way to get those beachy waves. Some people, though, like Lono and like myself, our hair sort of just poofs naturally. We spend, well, I don't know about him, but I spend a lot of money making sure that it doesn't poof that much. So, and let's see here, trail dust. When I went to your first blacksmith, when I went to my first blacksmith convention in Ohio, there was a trailer full of anvils with Acme painted on the side. I love it. I love it. And, all right, so I guess it is time to get to the brass tacks, as it were. So here we go. Let's unhook all the things, make everything the way it's supposed to be. This is what we're talking about now. We're talking about HelloFresh. And y'all, so here is where HelloFresh is, this sponsorship for HelloFresh is available in the United States, Australia, Austria, Belgium, Canada, Denmark, France, Germany, Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, the United Kingdom, and Ireland. So, most people who are here are available or are eligible for this particular sponsorship or the gift, or not the gift, the coupon code. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Aloha are not, because they already subscribe to HelloFresh. So if you've already subscribed to HelloFresh, then unfortunately none of this is for you. Now, what the flying fork is HelloFresh? What a great question. HelloFresh is basically a meal delivery service that you can choose once a week. It will deliver food, and you can choose however many meals you want. I believe the minimum is 2 meals per week, but you know what? I could be wrong about that. I chose the 2 meal per week plan. And in the 2 meals per week, you go through and they've got, let's see here. They have got different menus for each of the weeks. And so let's interact with the menu for a minute. And this menu for April 26th through May 2nd, they've got themselves some ginger steak and pepper stir fry, some zucchini lo mein with edamame. Now this one is what's known as a premium pick. You got to pay a little bit extra, and that's the seared steak with shrimp burritos. You got crispy fried chicken bites with gravy, a vegetarian chili bar, no chop ginger pork and rice skillet. Now see, some of these meals, the meal that I got, that we'll be looking at today, we've got this corn chowder. The meal that we'll be looking at today, was shepherd's pie, actually, is what I got, or cottage pie. And you have to prep your own vegetables. They send you in whole vegetables, and you have to cut them. So if you were hoping for no prep work, HelloFresh meals aren't necessarily the choice for you. However, this one, it looks like, is a no chop ginger pork and rice skillet. Let's see here. 3 easy steps. Woo, what did I... Oh, no. I don't... Oh. Well, we're not going to do that. Let's just decline the offer and then... Okay. Alright. 98062. Continue. Good. Oh, alright. This is not happening. Alright. You guys, this is not what I wanted to do. Okay, well, here we go. Okay, so customize your plan size. All right, here we go. We've got numbered people, 2 meals per week, 2, etc., etc. So, this was a bad plan. All right, we're not going to do that anymore. I shouldn't have pushed that button. Bad button. All right, so, basically, the coupon code is for 50% off of your first order. They actually make it pretty easy to cancel your order. Or cancel your subscription, or modify your subscription, or put your subscription on hold. I literally accidentally stumbled upon how to do that when I was looking for something else. So it's not difficult to find. So this particular subscription service, because it is a subscription service, so once you sign up for it, they're going to keep coming until you tell them stop. And if you don't choose the meals, they will choose them for you. But if you don't mind cooking, or if you don't mind prep work, then most of these meals are going to be right up your alley. But that one that I clicked on that sent us into an awfulness of awfulness, that looks like one, and I'm going to look into it in further detail. That looks like one where everything is already chopped up for you, which to me is right up my alley, because that was sort of, for whatever reason, I thought HelloFresh, the vegetables and everything were already chopped and prepped for you. Because quite honestly, that's what I hate doing most about cooking, is the prep work. HelloFresh is not that in all the meals. And yes, Darlene, you do get to choose the meals you want besides the number of the weekly meals you want. But like I said, if you don't choose, then they will choose for you. But what I decided to get for my very first box, so let's just dive into it, right? Here we go. Boom. HelloFresh came in a box. Looks like this. So this is going to be step by step, my friends. Got the box. Other side of the box, America's #1 meal kit. And other side of the box, everything that they get for that week's worth of menus, they give you the country of origin. So this country of origin markings, this list is for all of their stuff, not just what's in your packet. So even though there might not be green beans in your box, they're going to tell you where their green beans came from this week, which I think is pretty cool. So I opened the top of the box, and yes, exactly, Mr. and Mrs. Aloha Friday is right. You can take it camping because it's packaged. Not only that, you can take it camping for all sorts of reasons, actually. So you open the box, and as you can see in the box, it's lined with an insulated plastic bag, and then when you peel open the bag, you've got some coupons, and then you've got the menu cards, right? So take that, and then on the very top layer, they've got these blocks of ice. I don't know what this ice is made of. It's not just water. They say it's non-toxic. My best guess is it's some sort of alcohol ice combo. I don't really know what it is. But anyway, that's on the top. Remove that. Here we go. We've got my 2 meals. And we've got all of the ingredients for each of the meals in each bag. The blue bag has the pub style shepherd's pie. The rust colored bag has my pot sticker cabbage salad. And so let's see here. So then you take the bags out and you find yourself with another layer of ice. And with each of these layers, there is a little sign that says, hey, keep digging. There might be more ingredients under here. And let's see here. Darlene's saying, Mr. and Mrs. Aloha said they like the meals they have ordered, so we got someone's opinion on the quality too. Absolutely. And, all right, so peel the last layer of ice back, and we have got my ground beef for the shepherd's pie, and then we've got the sesame ginger gyoza pot stickers for the pot sticker salad. And this basically was the contents of the entire box. So you can see you've got some coupons for some things. You've got little signs saying, hey, there might be under ingredients hiding under the ice. You've got the 2 layers of ice. You've got a bunch of different coupons for other stuff. You got the meat. You've got some gift cards. You've got the ingredients in the bags, and you've got the instruction tablets. So, the instruction cards. Are you going to get to see me try these tasty nums? Yes and no. I've already eaten most of the shepherd's pie, but I probably will on the next stream be showing you what the gyoza salad was, and I'll probably be eating part of it on stream as well. So, and Terry in Scotland, did I get to pop the bubbles? I guess I could have if I wanted to, but I didn't. And as Mr. and Mrs. Aloha Friday said, you can take these things camping, and you absolutely can, because yes, they're already packaged, but also, as you can see, you've got this handy dandy liner bag, which will help. And if you keep these freezer, the ice packets, the ice blocks, then you basically have your own little frozen meal, your own cooler full of foods ready. Now, I hear what you're saying in regards to a cooking demo. I hear what you're saying in regards to a cooking demo, and that is eventually a goal for the situation. However, videoing cooking demos is very difficult in regards to camera angles, etc., and the number of cameras needed. Last night, actually, after the movie, I did go through and I found a bunch of different camera stands. Andre has gifted me a magnetic one as well. I have 3 different phones plus a GoPro that I can use to create the cooking footage. So that I'm going to be working on. I'm actually hoping the next meal I can video, but I've ordered 3 boxes. I've decided to order 3 boxes. So I'm going to have 6 attempts. Well, I guess 5 attempts to do a video. I did the next best thing though. And yeah, I would love to see your cooking demo. It will be an I Love Lucy. Will it be an I Love? Quite possibly, my friend. Quite possibly. And if my kitties decide to stick their noses into it, that could make it even more difficult. Just saying. That is true, although they actually generally know not to get up on the counter when I'm there. Dusty has a little bit of a harder time with that than Ashes, but they at least don't get on the counter when I can see them. They give me the illusion that they don't get on the counter. I know they do. I hear them jumping off of it, so I know they get on it. And Mr. and Mrs. Aloha Friday said they reuse the bags to bring hot food home. It's funny you should say that, because I was actually thinking I was going to take that bag and leave it in my car for just such occasions. And let's see here. I could start a whole new stream channel and call it Mad Statter's Snack Chat. Snack Chat. I could actually, or we could just take this channel in that direction. We'll see how it goes. But this is definitely going to be something that I'm going to be trying, I think, with a couple other different food services that have like pre-made food, all the different varieties, because HelloFresh is a very specific type of meal meal planning, meal service, as it were. And HelloFresh to me is, I feel like HelloFresh is the perfect thing if you're interested in cooking but you don't know how to cook and you have no experience cooking at all, and therefore your pantry is a little bare, you don't necessarily have all the ingredients you think you need on hand. I think HelloFresh is a fantastic way to learn how to start cooking, because they give you only what you need, and it and so you don't have to worry about, I'm never going to use that bottle of thyme again, and I only spent $8. I spent $8 on that stupid bottle of seasoning that I'm only going to use 1 tablespoon from, and I'll probably never use it again. You don't have to worry about that with HelloFresh. They give you 1 tablespoon of seasoning, and that's all you need, and that's all they give you. And Picola T, good to see you. Just finished the Minecraft movie with the kids. Even funny for us adults. Excellent. That is the point. And Trail Dust, would Mad Statter's Snack Chat work with maps? Actually, Trail Dust, if we have time, I have a map for today. So, God willing, Allah willing, however you want to say it, if the universe is in alignment, yes, maps and food will definitely work together. But, alright, you guys, so I wasn't able to video it. However, I did document it with photos. So, this is the pub-style shepherd's pie. And the reason why I have a How's It sticker on it is because on that bag is a QR code that you can scan. And the QR code, exactly, by the grace of the Easter Bunny, we could have a map. There we go. That's it, Picola T. And if you scan that QR code, it will give you, more information, videos about how to prep it, etc., etc. And I covered the QR code because I was trying to take the picture, but my phone was just focusing on the QR code. I didn't want my phone to focus on the QR code, and after fiddling with my phone for a little bit, I decided I'm just going to cover the QR code. So, that's why we've got that sticky note. All right, boom. In that bag, we have the following ingredients. We got ourselves about 1/2 cup of cheddar cheese. We got ourselves a little packet full of celeries. We got ourselves a pound of ground beef. We got ourselves 1 carrot, 3 very small potatoes, 1 medium onion, a couple tablespoons of tomato paste, a tablespoon of flour, a couple tablespoons of sour cream, about a tablespoon of garlic powder, and then we have got ourselves a tablespoon of thyme and some beef bouillon concentrate. So that is basically everything. Oh no, Picola T, popcorn that got thrown in your mouth by the wait, throwing popcorn was part of the Minecraft experience? Oh, wow. All right. I don't know if I want random strangers throwing popcorn in my mouth, but that's okay. All right. So, I don't know if you can tell by looking at this picture, but the carrot, phenomenal carrot, not wilty at all, clean. They said you're supposed to wash them. I peeled them and washed them, whatever, but we're honestly very clean. Oh, you stuffed yourself with popcorn with your own hands. Got it. But let me just tell you right now, dude, the produce that they gave us, they tell you need to wash it. Fine, of course you're supposed to. But the produce that they gave was already pretty clean. The potatoes, very fresh. The carrot, supremely fresh carrot. The onion, no rot, no soft spot, no nothing. The celery, very good quality. I have to say, I didn't think that the sour cream was very good quality. I ate a little bit, but it was mixed in with the potatoes, so not a problem. And here we go. So Stream Elements is reminding us, if you are interested in doing this, click the code, click the link that's in that little thing and use the code POGHF156218 to get 50% off your first box. And honestly, from what I understand, you actually only need to order one box. Obviously, feel free to order more than one box if you want, but you only need to order one box in order for this promotion on this website for me to even deal with anything. So if you are considering doing HelloFresh and you just want to try it, you're going to get it for 50% off. So for 1 week, it might be worth the while. And all right, so that's what's in the bag. Boom. This is how they had me. I followed the instructions, and the instructions I meant to show you, but now I don't know where they are. So hold on. Let's go back. Okay, I forgot about this part, y'all. All right, so in the box, it comes with the instructions, and this is all of the ingredients. This is what I'm making. And then on the other side, it tells you how to do it. Okay? And also in the box, they gave me, this was free. They gave me these low sugar candies that I'm very interested in trying, and I might actually try them on the stream today. They're only 3 grams of sugar. These are made in Canada, and there's a coupon here for these. And then they also, in the box, they give you a gift card to give a gift of the HelloFresh to one of your friends, and I think it's a $15 off a box. And then they also give you a couple other coupons for a couple other subscription services. One of them is, that's HelloFresh. One of them's Good Chop, and that is for meat. And then there's just, and then they give a coupon for some leaf filter thing. So that, and then the other meal that I ordered is the sesame chicken gyoza and red cabbage salad. That we will be doing later on. And thank you, Picola T. My mise en place skills are impressive. I would have survived the chopped kitchen challenge easy. That is right. So this is my bowl of potatoes. You chop the potatoes really tiny so you can boil them real darn quick. And then this is my mirepoix, my carrot, my celery, and my onion. And so these are all ready to get going on a hot pan. I'm using cast iron for this. You obviously don't have to, but they suggested using one pan so you didn't have to have 2 pans. Cooking your stuff in an oven-proof pan so you didn't have to transfer all your stuff into an oven-proof pan for the last step. So I got some oil in there, getting my oil heated up, and they wanted you to put in that there carrot first because the carrots are the hardest. Now, as you can see, I had a hard time separating my carrots from some of my celeries. So the celeries, well, a couple of them there got cooked a little bit longer than they should have. Oops. All right. So when you're done softening up them there carrots, thank you, beautiful chopping. I spent a lot of time making sure this looked pretty. But I will tell you, the longest part of this meal prep was the chopping of the vegetables, which is my least favorite part of the meal. And so I will say HelloFresh, for whatever reason, HelloFresh, I thought came with vegetables pre-chopped. I was wrong. Okay, I was wrong. But whatever. I can tell you this, though. Their produce quality is deliciously, it's very high. And it is better to get them. The produce quality is only going to degrade once you chop up the produce. So it's probably better they don't do that. And mirepoix, yes, Terry, you had to Google that. Now you know. Mirepoix, just so for those of you who don't know, is a classic French term. And it is the combination that most French dishes start out with, which is onions, celery, and carrot. That is a mirepoix. That is the French version of the starting of most of their meals. If you were asked to ask a Cajun person, someone from New Orleans, what their quote-unquote mirepoix is, that would be known as the Holy Trinity. And the Holy Trinity is onions, celery, and green pepper. Almost every single thing starts with onions, celery, and green pepper. And every culture has their own version of their basic foundations of the dish. But French call it mirepoix, and the French have celery, onion, and carrot. And Darlene and I would be great together. She doesn't mind chopping as long as the veggies are good quality, and that's what you'd be concerned about more. Yeah, and when you're paying good money for it, you really do. I guess I would rather have higher quality than the convenience. So once we get all of our mirepoix seasoned up and softened a little bit with some salt and pepper, you then are going to be adding the garlic powder and the thyme, and you're going to be stirring that in. And once that's been stirred up for a couple minutes and the flavors have all gotten seasoned, you want to get yourself some room and you want to put yourself your meat in there. And then you're going to brown your meat up and you're going to cook all that up. Once the meat is browned, you're going to add the tablespoon of flour and 2 tablespoons of tomato sauce. And you're going to stir all this up to make it all mixed. And then once the tomato sauce and the flour is all mixed, you're going to add 1/2 cup of water along with that beef broth concentrate. And that's what that's going to look like. And then you're going to stir all that up and cook that for just a little bit. Right, exactly, Darlene. The flour, why is the flour in there? It's to help thicken up all of the sauciness in there. And so once you cook that down, you're going to cook it for a little bit until it's as thick as you want it. I probably could have cooked it a little bit longer. It was maybe a little bit looser than it needed to be, but I also knew that since I would be having leftovers, I figured it would eventually dry out in the leftovers, so I kept it a little looser than some people might, but that's all there, your choice. Terry in Scotland, yes, you absolutely could use cornstarch in replacement of the flour, only you'd probably want to use about half as much. But I decided that even though I'm generally gluten-free, that amount of flour wasn't going to bother me, and also I wanted to make this dish exactly as instructed from the box. Because this dish absolutely could be personalized to what you want. For instance, honestly, if I were to make this again, I would add more vegetables. I would probably add some frozen green beans, or maybe some frozen corn. I would add more than just, or maybe I would add even some canned mushrooms. I would add definitely more than just the 3 vegetables. But I wanted to just do this as presented, right? Yeah, some peas, some corn, something like that, right? And we'll get into the personalization of this particular meal in a minute. Anyway, so while I was doing all this, I also boiled those potatoes and mashed them and added that sour cream in. And I didn't take pictures of that because I figured y'all knew how to boil a potato, drain a potato, mash a potato, and then stir sour cream in it. So I did that, all right? And that is what is in these mashed potatoes. These mashed potatoes are not fancy. They just were potatoes boiled in water, salt water. There's a little bit of butter and a little bit of sour cream. There's no heavy cream, no nothing. So these were the 3 potatoes that were mashed. Now, granted, I did have a spoonful just to taste them. And I will say this is my biggest complaint about this dish. And I think you can see why in the next one. So these are all the potatoes that I had. I scraped that pot clean. And I spread it as much as I could. But it was really thin. As you can see, it's like super thin in spots, you know? You can practically see through it. And so my only complaint with this is they should have had more taters. And I say this as a fat girl who loves taters. So I'm not so sure that they could have provided me enough taters for me to ever be happy. But Michi Mama, they were definitely smaller than they were on the small side. I would say they were slightly bigger than a duck egg, you know? They were definitely not. If I were to bake a potato that size, I probably would have wanted 1.5 potatoes, baked potatoes, in order for me to feel like I got my potatoes worth, kind of thing. So yeah, they were small potatoes. And yeah, more, exactly, Mr. and Mrs. So that was it. Now, let me just tell you right now. Right, yeah, Michi Mama, right. Yeah, these were not the Costco taters. These were little taters. And yeah, the potatoes were small potatoes, exactly. And so let me make it clear. I am not saying there was not enough food, because between the vegetables and the beef and everything, there was enough food. There just wasn't enough potato topping for my taste. That's all I'm saying. Now, this is what it looked like after the cheese. By the way, I also sprinkled cheese on top. Forgot to take a picture of that. So, sprinkled the white cheddar cheese on top of the potatoes and put it under the broiler for about 5-10 minutes. So, Terry, I think that you absolutely could do this in an Instapot. The only thing is you would need to somehow figure out a way to get the crusty melted cheese on top. I'm not sure how you would do that. You could take a blowtorch, a food blowtorch or a regular blowtorch. Maybe you could put the Instapot in the oven. I don't know. I don't know how Instapots work with that. Or at the end of it all, and this is what they were saying, this is what they were suggesting, is make it all in an oven-proof pan. So for this step, you don't have to put something, you don't have to transfer it to an oven-proof pan. So Terry in Scotland, you're thinking you want to do this with an Instapot. You think you probably can, but you want, okay, so you would just put the lid on it and give it a minute or so. Okay, there you go. Or what you could do if you wanted to dirty another dish is take it out of the Instapot, put it in an oven-safe dish, put the mashed potatoes, the cheese, and then pop it in the oven. Lots of ways to work around it. And then, boom, this is what it looked like. This is what it looked like when I took my little piece and serving out of it. You can sort of see the melty cheese action going on here. And then, this, though, is, as a single person, this is the next question that is really almost as important as the first question. And the first question is, well, is it any good? Yeah, it is pretty good. But the next question is, but was it good for leftovers? Does it leftover? And yes, indeedly do, it does leftover. This was my leftover the next night. It's on a smaller pan. I used 4 potatoes for half of the thing, because basically I took all the potatoes off and ate them all last night on the other one, so there's no taters left. And so I put 4 more potatoes, boiled them up, put them on top of the thing. No cheese, no sour cream. These were just regular potatoes. But I have to say, I preferred the leftovers to the original. And here's why. Shepherd's pie to me has, when I make it in my house, never has a tomato base. So the idea that this shepherd's pie had a tomato sauce base was already kind of weird for me. And then the tomato base coupled with the sour cream and the cheese in the mashed potatoes, those flavor profiles for me clashed, and I didn't really like it a whole lot. And this is where customization comes in. So the next day, I didn't use those cheesy sour cream potatoes. I just used plain boiled buttered mashed potatoes. And the plain boiled buttered mashed potatoes with the tomato profile, for me, hit my palate so much better. They weren't clashing. I also want to say I think that the shepherd's pie was better the next day because, like everything that's tomato based, it usually tastes better the next day. The next day, the flavors have a chance to marry and really blend in one another, whereas on the first day, the tomato flavor was a little bit forward. It just wasn't it wasn't as good as it was the next day. So that would be my two things with this particular thing is this dish I think would be better served the next day and better served with more taters. It needs more taters. And yes, Terry, you're totally correct. Shepherd's pie traditionally features lamb, while cottage pie uses ground beef. And so this particular, name, it is shepherd's pie. They're actually wrong. It should be cottage pie. And, Mitchie Mama, no, I did not have to buy my own beef. Let's go back to what we're going back to. Here we go. Actually, yeah, here we go. God dang it, hold on. And by the way, you guys, I totally have spuds in my house. Trust me on this one. Okay, here we go. Mitchie Mama, this is what came with the HelloFresh for this particular meal. So you'll see we've got the bag it all came in, and we've got the cheese, we've got the celery, we've got the ground beef. So yeah, the ground beef totally came with it as well. And let's see here. And picolati, exactly. I generally use a brown gravy instead of a tomato sauce when I make my cottage pies. Which brings me to, even though I'm like, I don't really know if I like that so much, it brings me to my point, which is this, or one of my many points, which is, this is a really good idea for people who are learning to cook, but also people who have flippin' run out of ideas for dinner. Because I'll tell you what, my mom, the bane of my mom's existence was trying to figure out what's for dinner. And so honestly, if I was a working mother or a working father or a whatever, if I had kids or anybody I had to take care of, HelloFresh to me seems like the biggest relaxation of your brain. You've got 5 meals in the fridge, one for every night. What are we going to have tonight? I don't know. Pick a bag. Let's figure it out. Right? And so this is a really good thing for people who don't even want to think about dinner and just have it ready to be made. It's a good thing for people who are learning how to cook. And it's also a good thing for people who, like me, I already know how to cook and I already do make up my own recipes, but gall dang it, I do some of the same things over and over again. I have a very consistent flavor profile with my foods, and sometimes it's better to shake things up a little bit. A tomato-based shepherd's pie never would have crossed my mind. And that, my friend, is exactly what this did. It absolutely, it took something that is so simple and so boring. I mean, it's a shepherd's flippin' pie, y'all. And it totally changed it up for me. So I'm really excited about this because this next meal that I'm going to be doing, which is the sesame chicken gyoza cabbage salad, I always have cabbage in my house. I always have sesame seeds in my house. I always have some kind of gyoza in my house. It never once crossed my mind to make a salad with that. Right? So, and yeah, so when you're in a rut, it absolutely is going to shake you out of your rut. And it might give you an idea for a whole new rut to fall into. So, that is what is going on with the HelloFresh. And, let's see here. So, and then Terry in Scotland, for sure, you can layer sliced boiled potatoes, etc., etc. Yeah, you don't, and actually you could make it Midwestern, y'all, and put some tater tots on it. Just forget the fresh potatoes entirely and just go with the tot, right? And, Mr. and Mrs. Friday, Aloha Friday, warm salad! Oh my god, it's full circle, isn't it? It's full flippin' circle. For those of you who are here for that stream, you know exactly what they're talking about. And yeah, I know, Puzzycat gave the 2-minute warning, and Shock is over there. It's time! It's time! And Trailus is like, but there's no maps today. Yes, there is. We're talking about red-tailed hawks, my friends. And we're going to talk more about them later on. But that is a map that we're going to talk about red-tailed hawks, because red-tailed hawks are awesome. There's 14 different subspecies. Take a look at it. We've got ourselves the light morphs. We've got ourselves the dark morphs. We've got ourselves all these different kinds of tails. That's right, y'all. We're going to talk about hawks next stream. That's right. I snuck in a map. All right. So. All right, you guys. So basically, I am using this HelloFresh sponsorship stream as a potential platform to jump off of into more different kinds of video creation to add to this show. I hope that one or two of you take advantage of this, because it is 50% off, and you generally only need it. It says you only need to buy the one box. So 50% off. It might, give you an idea or whatever of something new that you can make. And like I said, and like we've realized, you can personalize these things. For instance, more taters. Okay, you guys, I want to thank everybody, especially Mitchie Mama, for asking all these good questions and throwing down those biddies. I want to thank everyone for being here, for asking all these questions, for being quite involved in this adventure together. And like I said, I hope that you guys give it a try, but actually, if you don't, I'm not even going to stress about it. And I want to thank you for putting up with this potentially new direction. I feel really sort of silly with doing this sponsorship thing, but honestly, y'all, and this is really, I suppose I shouldn't say this, but it occurred to me, wait a second here, I can actually use this as a tax write-off, and I can get food out of it? Why not give it a try? So, I've got my selfish reasons, you might have yours. Have yourself a good night, and hopefully we will see each other on Wednesday. Take care, y'all. Have a good one.